How's it going, everybody? This is the Nitty Gritty. My name is Chad. With me, as usual, is Leonard. And this is another edition of our Stupid Questions series where one of us asks the other person a question and that person answers off the top of their head. It could be serious. It could be stupid. We like to have fun doing it. And you never know what's going to come up. And this time it is my turn to ask the question. And Leonard, my question to you is, what is your favorite multi-man match or your least favorite multi-man match? And that doesn't have to be necessarily just tag team or whatever. It could be triple threat, fatal four-way, whatever. Like, when you think of your favorite type of multi-man match to watch and your least favorite, what comes to mind?
Oh, so not a specific match, but a type of match.
Yeah, like, I mean, for example, maybe you really like 5-on-5, you know.
Yeah. No, I would say, I love a tornado tag where you got all four guys going at the same time. You've got action in the ring, out of the ring. I would say tornado tag is probably my favorite. Even though longtime listeners know that I'm not a big fan of spot heavy matches, the multi-man ladder matches, the Money in the Bank ladder matches,
right,
are of course very exciting to watch and are very fun to watch. Because when I was trying to think of a specific match to start with, was it the first TLC match or the second TLC match? The one, it was Edge and Christian and the Hardys and the Dudleys.
They did the first two.
The first two. So like one, I think two is usually considered better than the first one.
And then the one before those was at SummerSlam. It was a triangle ladder match, what they called it, I think. So
yeah. And and I think ECW really pioneered like the 3 men and the 4 men matches. I think they have a lot of pretty good. Because there's one, it was like Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, and is it Jericho? I think that was when he was briefly in ECW. I'm trying to remember. But there's some really good, ECW triple threats. I'm not a huge fan of triple threats and four ways because I think you wind up where one guy is out on the floor too much, and it's just a singles match where you're changing dance partners every few minutes.
Well, in that vein, I was gonna say, I wouldn't label triple threats as my least favorite. But triple threats to me are generally a mixed bag for the reason you just mentioned. Because some of them can be really good. The guys can have really good chemistry. We've talked about some of them on our episodes in the past. Other times they can be like you said. It could be like one guy getting sent to the outside for a length of time while the other two work, and it just doesn't seem to gel very well. Fatal four-ways, I would say, are among the ones that I like the most, and they're not used very often anymore. Because with fatal four-ways, you can have 2 matches going on at the same time. And
yeah, so that's a little bit better than the triple threats. Yeah.
There's usually stuff going on the outside and on the inside. Where things start to sour for me, and it doesn't happen all the time, is when you have some of the Money in the Bank ladder matches, to me, are getting too overloaded with people. To the point where, like, if I look at a match and I can see guys just kind of kneeling on the outside after, like, getting punched a few times, and they have to feign like they're deathly injured for like 10 minutes before their next spot comes, that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. So, like, sometimes when you get north of 4, it can really depend on the people you have.
Yeah.
But
well, and here's a couple others, and you maybe didn't think of these. War games,
Elimination Chamber. Yeah. I think
Elimination Chamber
would be really good.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber I'm not a big fan of because of the idea that it's just a dude chilling in a pod,
right?
Until they come out, and it always seems to be a lot of the same spots. Like, we're gonna break the pod. Yeah. Someone's going to take a power bomb on the metal grate, those types of things. But I love war games. Royal Rumble. Battle Royals might be about because it's just people punching and kicking.
Oh, I hate Battle Royals. The Royal Rumble, I love, but Battle Royals, oh God, they are just.
Again, Royal Rumble is just taking that concept and making it make sense by stretching out the entrance.
Right.
It was one of the recent episodes of Young Rock actually deals with young Pat Patterson.
Oh, wow.
And he's in 1966 San Francisco, and they're having a battle royal, and he's talking with High Chief Peter Maivia and Rocky Johnson, and he's like, you know what, these would be a lot easier if like maybe we came in like there's two guys and another guy comes in, and then I look at my wife and I said, Pat Patterson invented the Royal Rumble, but he didn't invent it in 1966.
Yeah, that's the idea was percolating for a couple decades, Leonard.
That's kind of how they tried to play it with Rock's narration. That this eventually became the idea. But but a side note here, one of the recent episodes, it was young Peter Maivia and young Andre the Giant. So they looked at them around the late 60s when they were getting, and it was actually one of my favorite episodes of the series so far because they did that.
I'd really thought about watching that show, by the way. I haven't watched it yet, but
it's amusing. I find it interesting. The wrestling history is all wrong.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. Like on the first episode, so Pacific Wrestling that like the Rock's grandma ran, like she had Randy Savage and Junkyard Dog. And I'm like, oh, it's like Vince lets me loan guys. I'm like, Vince didn't have them in '83.
That's
my wife watches it with me and likes it, but yeah, she'll just look at me and she can tell that I'm fuming over something that isn't even close to right. But I'll say one more Survivor Series.
Oh yeah, elimination tag matches for the 4-on-4 Survivor Series elimination matches. To me, were a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And they were certainly better for that era. I don't know that you could do that now. I know they try to unearth it every once in a blue moon, and it's usually a brand versus brand one, which I don't care about ever. But
what's the I can't think of the name. It's what they used to do in the X division in TNA where they had the match. Oh, is that what? Yeah, they have the belt like hanging from an X.
Yeah,
Ultimate X.
That was always, those matches could be a lot of fun as well, and dangerous looking.
Yeah. Another lousy one from TNA: Reverse Battle Royal.
Yes, we've talked about
that. You're all fighting on the floor trying to get into the ring. That's ridiculous.
We talked about that on Fever Dreams, and that is probably one of the worst ideas. It's like we can't copy WWE, so let's just.
Dude, Bunkhouse Stampede, which is a battle royal in a cage. So you have to climb the cage to throw the guy out. You know how you win? You don't get near the cage.
Yeah. King of the Road match. That's not a multi-man match.
No. That's a semi-truck match, right?
It should have been. Can you imagine a King of the Road match with like 3-4 guys?
Yeah. I was thinking King of the Mountain match that TNA did.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't that like a multi-man or a battle royal type situation?
It probably something like that. I didn't watch enough TNA to.
No. I think they did some multi-man cage stuff too. It wasn't War Games, but
that'll
it was
be
like
a future episode. We'll do a King of the Mountain retrospective.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
They did something. Was it Monsters Ball? Where it's like a weapons cage match?
Yes.
With I think that can be multiple people in that. I think that's what TNA is.
House of Fun match. What was that?
Yes. Yeah. We had
Clockwork Orange,
and we didn't know what it was. We had to look it up.
Whatever. I don't know.
Early TNA is basically what you get when Jeff Jarrett doesn't have any oversight.
Yeah.
And it's just whatever he came up with that morning in the shower.
You'll know that TNA is doomed if, because of Jeff Jarrett's being there now, they bring back the King of the Mountain gimmick.
Yes, title belt. They probably will. He'd love that thing. I'm trying to think of. I mean, I think we named most of the big multi-man matches that are out there, and I think all of them come down to the fact that you got to book it right, and you got to have the right guys who know how to work the stipulation involved. I think
absolutely.
Yeah, because because as I say, they run the spectrum because I think you of all the ones we've named, you can find good examples and bad examples of each.
Absolutely. And before we go, I'll just say I want to say it's Final Four. I don't know if it's called Fatal Four. The In Your House, one of the In Your Houses with Undertaker and Vader and Stone Cold and Bret Hart. I want to say Final Four. That was called
Final Four. I think sounds right. Yeah.
underrated. Underrated In Your House. There's a lot of good In Your House stuff for people that haven't checked out.
Yeah, I went through a period where I was watching some of the early ones, and there's usually at least 2 or 3 really good matches, and then a couple of clunkers that feel like, because we basically they built the whole shows around 1 or 2 matches, and then it's just like, well, stuff we put on Raw.
Clunkers is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know if there are any matches we missed or ones that you like or don't like at all in the comments. Check out our other episodes, Segment Surgery and Random Match Reviews, and our full-length episodes, and we're available wherever podcasts are. For Leonard, my name is Chad, and we will see you next time.